What's up, my XRP brothers from another mother and my cute XRP sisters? This is Rob with the Rob 007 channel coming to you from beautiful but hot Venice Island. 5 out of 5 down at the beach. And the title of this episode is the XRP Dam Break is on the horizon any day now. Buckle up, got a good episode for you guys, and thank you as always. We're about 100 away from our first 2,500 subscribers on this channel, building back and building back better, so appreciate each and every one of you. So indeed, if you are new to this channel, if you would hit the subscribe button to subscribe, the bell for notifications, that like button, tap it, slap it, whatever you are feeling for what is today, a Monday, to start the markets, start the week. And if you do Twitter, follow me at Rob XRP 007. Love my XRP Twitter family. And yes, a disclaimer, I am not a financial advisor. This channel is just for educational and entertainment purposes only. And don't forget about the fine folks at Caleb and Brown to custody your XRP. The link is in the description for institutional grade custody, as well as get assigned to a broker, pick up the phone, all that good stuff. Link is down there. Tell them Rob sent you. And also, if you want to get $50 bonus from signing up on Kraken, there's still a few of those left, my favorite exchange. And then also you can double that bonus over on iTrust. When you open up an account, they give you a $100 bonus as well. And then that link is in the description too. And if you want ROI on your XRP OMG, email me your name, number, and a good time to call, and I will indeed get back in touch with you. Let's see. Yep, and we got some great comments that came strolling in. I'll begin with Back up on X. He says, Rob, XRP is like a coiled spring. After the Clarity Act goes into effect, won't be anything to hold it back. I agree with you 100% on that. And also in the comments, Staff Bull says, great news. It says, great news. This popped up on my feed without searching. He says, onward and upwards. That's great. I don't know how that happened, because I had a really great title, and the title just, it wasn't up there, it just had the date. So I'm surprised it pulled as well as it did. Also in the comments, Charles says, love you, Rob. So glad you are back. Appreciate you, Charles. And also in the comments, Valor Chimney Service says, missed you, brother. Glad to see you are back. LFG and OMG with that 100%. And last but not least, Pasta Belly says, you're the best. Thanks, Rob. I sure appreciate all the support I've been getting on this channel and bringing back the new one. Just makes the heart smile. So currently we got Bitcoin at 1,116,606 at the time. It was down 1.5% on the 24-hour, and our XRP was at 305, down 1.5% as well on the 24 hours. Yeah, kind of brutal to wake up and see it underneath $3. It stayed there for a little while and maybe got as low as 294. And then, yes, the last I saw it's at 307. So, yeah, like Mr. Poole did just a few days back ago, National Roller Coaster Day. Ouch, yes, it sure was. And my poor wallet, I got two sons. I got one son in college, got him squared away last week, and the other one coming up this week. And my poor wallet's just saying, give me a break. I can't take it anymore. Also, Patrick Bet David, this is some really great stats. I love hearing stats like this, and it just puts life and everything in perspective. How many people retire with 5 million or more? You want to take a guess? I'll pause for a second. Almost no one does. 99.9% fail at reaching this target. So that means that just 1/10% people will retire with 5 million or more. That's basically 1 out of 1,000 people. Unbelievable. And how many retire with 1 million? That number's also a little bigger. It's 3%, but only 3%. 97% of the population does not. Let's see, in the Rob Report, shout out to you, Rob, living life, La Vida Loca over in Welland Park, beautiful Welland Park, says, the silence tells you everything. Something is brewing. And he cites both Brad Garland House. He's been cricket since the appeal stuff. They both dropped the appeals. No statement after that was happened. And then also this he gave, for example, as well, Larry Fink, when he was on being interviewed and saying, is there an XRP ETS by TF comment? And he says, you know, I can't comment on that. And I'll cite one more too. That would be the legal department up on stage of the IMF saying that he could not, and they said, I cannot talk about this. I'm from the legal department. So anyway, yeah, TikTok, we're waiting on the appeals court to approve the appeals being dropped. And that's when the fun begins, everybody. Ripple Eagle up on X says, guess what? There are rumors that appeal court will approve those dropped appeals this week. Wouldn't that be fabulous? I am crossing my fingers. That one goes up there. So hope it happens. And then just think, once it does, let the fun begin. We're talking about the NDAs can begin in earnest, and then you're going to have FOMO like you've never seen before, because you're going to have financial FOMO as well as retail FOMO. Such an exciting. So we'll see when we get that appeals. When that is proved, we'll see how XRP reacts, and if we get a bigger what we've been kind of expecting for a price move. And also, my August utility event, it's still on the table. We're a little bit less than 2 weeks away. We got about 12 days, give or take. And it still could happen. And yes, we have very little time to find out if it does. I'm going to be watching that like a hawk. And just because if it doesn't happen at the end of August, it could happen in the first week of September. We'll all be able to see it up on Fiat Leak. And when it does, it's just going to be beautiful. I'll talk about it right before we end this episode. And those spot ETFs, again, that approval is looking at right middle of October, and then third week of October. All of them should be approved by then. We'll see. But once they get approved, that's one thing. It's when they go live. And so I think they'll probably go live in November. And again, I think that's when the fun begins. We'll talk about that before we end up this episode too. Breaking news. Ripple offering, you've all heard it now, but this is such great news. Once again, just unbelievable. Ripple's offering Gemini Exchange a line of credit. Poolside Chad chimes in and says, first real instance of Ripple providing banking services for institutions using RLUSD. Yes, and I woke up this morning, it's like I've had a couple of thoughts, when waking up now over the weekend and stuff, but this morning, one thing's still kind of surfing with me, and I'm thinking in my head, when you least expect it. I think that any day something's going to happen, and when you least expect it is any day now. It's going to happen soon. Yes. Let's see. This is amazing. It says bank exchange with a mind-blowing prediction. And this may just be in the Truman Mill and not tied to that. But anyway, the 65,000 per XRP locked in. Ripple Bank data proves 100 billion supply can indeed power the 6.5 quadrillion financial system. Just saying, Bitcoin's over 100K. So. On this, and so my time frame on this Monday afternoon, to get a little perspective how I'm feeling, two things kind of surfaced when I woke up this morning. One is that the suppression stuff, it's real, and be prepared to endure it as long as it takes. So we've held this long, so I'm just what I'm feeling, what I'm sensing is that the suppression's going to continue on until they're ready to use it. So in a lot of ways, I can say just be mentally prepared, be tough as nails, that this could continue to stay suppressed as much. I'm hoping that we start getting into bull run targets in the not too distant future. Basically within old Bitcoin cycles should be somewhere between September, October that Bitcoin should be hitting its top. So anyway, we'll see what that does. But that's number one. The suppression is real, and be ready to endure. The second thing is this. When I buy XRP, really from the moment I got in, the very 5 years ago, when I bought one XRP, if it was 50 cents and I got $2 for $4, or if it was a quarter and I got $4 for $1, or if it was 20 cents, I got that $5 for $1 too. Unbelievable. But when I bought it, I never saw it as 20, 25 cents, 50 or $1, or today I don't see it as $3. I see it for its future value. And so for me, in the beginning, it's like every XRP that I was buying, I saw it as a $10 XRP. And as time graduated and I started to understand the problem that XRP solved, then I made that mental jump to saying I see it as a 3-digit $100 XRP. And then you guys all know for the last couple of months, every time I buy one XRP, I see it as a $1,000 XRP. And I treat it that way on both sides of the coin where I'm buying or selling. But then with the whole Ripple Bank, Ripple National Trust Bank, that $1,000 XRP in my head is no longer 1,000. When I buy an XRP now, I think of it as a 5-digit $10,000 XRP. Understanding and knowing the role that Ripple's National Trust Bank, I think it will be approved, their bank license and their FedMaster account, that they are going to be the rails that the financial system operates on for the world's bridge currency. Absolutely not financial advice for me when I buy one. I'm looking at a $10,000 per XRP for me. Best for last, as we wrap up this episode this afternoon. This is from Shibo. He says, just heard, and this gets me really excited. I want to be able to have stuff in the short term that, like the August event potentially happened, but I want to have stuff on the short term that we can all get excited about, just so like watching our clocks. Any day our phone's going to blow up. This does it for me this afternoon. Shibu says up on X, says, just heard some huge news about XRP. He says, I wish I could share it, but there's way too many big players involved. What does he know? Cannot wait to find out if something happens this week or before this month is out. When you least expect it, we could get something totally out of left field that we're not even counting on. So, yes, and just kind of this short little quick recap of even like yesterday's video, September, something that happened this next 2 weeks, whether it's the appeals dropped or some news like that, insane. September, we all are expecting those rate cuts to happen. That's really looking promising that's going to happen. So that's going to move the market, increase into money supply. And October, spot ETFs being approved to go live, hopefully the start of November, maybe even by the end of October, would be absolutely massive. And then that November SWIFT ISO 222 implementation, fully all the banks to be onboarded by November 22nd. So yeah, buckle up. So August, the utility event, I'm crossing fingers. If we do get that, we could start to see those bumps up from 5 to 10 to 15 to 20, jumping like that. Yes, and then getting that bottom floor for that liquidity pool is going to be great, because it's never going to go back down if we actually have that event come to fruition. But then we'll just build up off of that. So then we start with those spot ETFs, add that a layer on top of everything else. Again, per Jay Claver, he thinks that could actually easily push the price from $50 to $100. Maybe we start at 20 then, but then we just start marching up, because again, I think the supply shock that's going to happen to XRP, absolutely no one's prepared for. There's just too much money at the gates, biting at the bit to get in. And we're not even talking about the strategic reserves or corporations holding strategic reserves. So if we see that, again, I hold by my end of the year prediction. I got a bet on it. That's for a $100 XRP. And then if we get a flip of the switch, which could happen, not financial advice, do we wake up to a $500 or $1,000 XRP? Comment down below. I want to know what you guys think. And if we do, we're all going to need a bigger boat. See you guys in the next episode. Peace out.